My boy Cesar.
What's happening?
Alright guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. My name is Carl Santimo.
Luis Ramirez, and this is the Young Man's Podcast. And today we have Cesar Diaz from Fonse & Ponce Realty. So go ahead, Cesar, why don't you just start off already and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Absolutely, man. First and foremost, thank you guys for having me on this show. I look forward to being on it and see where we take it. So let me actually take it back to the very, very beginning where it all started. I was actually born and raised in Peru. Not a lot of people know that about myself.
Really?
Yes, so I was born and raised over there, and my parents decided to migrate to the States when I was 10 years old. As you can imagine, making such a move to a new country, a new world, pretty much, it's never easy. So I actually remember talking to my dad once and asking him, hey Dad, what are we doing? You know, this isn't the ideal lifestyle that we want to have. And I remember him pulling me aside and saying, hey, listen man, I know you're struggling right now and it's not easy. You don't speak the language, you don't have a lot of friends, but anything worth having in life, it's going to take a lot of work. So that was, even though I was so young, it was like a pivotal point in my life because I understood clearly what his message was.
Yeah.
And being so young and kind of taking that in was a huge game changer for me. And shortly after that, we moved to Chino. That's kind of where I grew up, where I went to school. I went to high school there. And thankfully, I was blessed enough to get a scholarship to play soccer here at the University of California, Riverside, which was a huge blessing for me. Something that I worked throughout my whole life to attain.
That's great.
And it was finally here. So yeah, and that's the short version of where I come from. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Cool. Okay, so coming from Peru, and you said you were 10 years old.
Yeah.
How was that like transitioning from like just living in Peru, living this lifestyle, and then coming over here, not knowing the language and all of that? What did you have to put yourself through in order to like do that?
Well, I think family was everything at that point. You know,
Yeah.
we don't have a lot of family here in California, or in the States to begin with. So having each other's back was, I think, the most important thing. I'm lucky enough to have amazing parents, my mom and dad, who I look up to so much. I have a brother and a sister who will do anything for me. So and it's both ways. I'll do anything for them, and I think that having a family bond was probably the most important thing we had to have in common.
Right.
That's great.
So the support system coming here was just real tight, real small, and then it's not your typical, I'm gonna move somewhere and then I have, you know, an aunt up the street or maybe an aunt out of the city, right?
Exactly. It was tough. We didn't have a lot of family, so we only had each other. And we still do. We only have each other now. We have a lot of, obviously, more friends, but in the beginning it was tough, to say the least.
And you said you had a language barrier, so at what age were you felt confident that you had the native language now?
Well, when you're 10 years old, I'm sure you guys remember, you're kind of more self-aware of what's going on.
Right.
You know what embarrassment is. You know what when people are talking about you. It's not like you're 5 years old, you know. So I was pretty aware of what was going on. So I knew right away that I had one choice: to pick up the language right away and get to work. So that's what I did. I think I picked up the English in like 6-7 months.
Yeah, it's funny because I actually have a buddy of mine, and he did the same. He did the same thing. He's actually from Peru as well.
Oh, really?
And he had the same, like your upbringing, stuff like that. So he moved over here. He didn't really know anybody, and now he opened his own flooring company, and he does all of that. And one thing that he was telling me is that the language barrier was like weird for him.
How old was he when he came?
I think he said he was like 7 or 8,
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like that.
Younger, huh?
Yeah. So he was telling me something the other day, and he was telling me that when he was learning the language, he didn't know what "bless you" meant. So he thought that he said he thought that people were just imitating the sound of sneezing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
So whenever he did that, or whenever somebody would sneeze, he would say, "That's."
Oh.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that makes sense, man. I had a couple words that I didn't understand. Still up to this date, I know some words I don't know how to pronounce. But that's just who I am, and I've embraced that throughout the years. So when I was younger, I was kind of a little shy, kind of embarrassed, but now I just embrace it, and I think that's the best thing you can do. When you embrace something that you're uncomfortable with, I think that's when the real you comes out.
Yeah.
Right.
So definitely, but yeah, I mean that happens to everyone.
Yeah. And living in Peru, like living with your circumstances, do you feel like it humbled you in any way?
Well, the thing about me and my family is that we had a great life in Peru.
Mhm.
So that's why I didn't understand why we were making the move here.
Okay.
It's not like we were running out of money or
Yeah.
we didn't have good living. We were living great. It's just that my parents decided to put us in front of them and give us a better future. We knew that in Peru our future was a bit limited.
Mm.
So this country was going to open up a lot more doors. And in the beginning, obviously, it was hard to understand that.
Yeah.
But as time went on, we understood exactly what my parents were doing, and we're so thankful for that because it has opened doors that I never even imagined having opened.
And like for me, my mom always had this motto of always go to college, always go to school, and even that wasn't really something I liked personally,
Yeah.
you know. And then it ended up now I'm in a sales job. Now, Cesar, for you, like, did that affect you in any way that you're in a sales job and not in a, you know, an official type of
corporate,
corporate job?
I think, well, back to your point of some people just don't see school as an option, you know. They're
Yeah.
not-
Yeah.
They don't like school, and that's perfectly fine. I think just having really a goal in mind, it's a huge game changer and the thing that should drive you every day. So, for example, when I started real estate, I had a lot of dreams.
Yeah.
Dreams of becoming a good agent, dreams of getting listings, getting buyers. But I noticed that dreams without goals are just dreams. So what I did is I took myself back a little bit and said, okay, what is my goal? Where do I want to get to?
Yeah.
So having a goal and having an action plan behind it, I think is the biggest thing. Whether you go to school or not, I was fortunate enough to go to college because of soccer, but if I didn't go to school, I don't think it would have made much of a difference. I think the biggest thing school gave me was just having a common sense.
I like that.
Other than opportunities, I think you create those yourself.
No, definitely. I definitely highly agree with that. Cesar, now tell us a little bit about how you made that transition into real estate from. Tell us how about start off with what were some of your previous jobs,
Yeah,
and then we'll sneeze in into.
absolutely,
Real estate.
absolutely, yeah. That's actually a great question because believe it or not, my first job was a professional soccer player.
Mm.
Nothing to do with sales, nothing to do with school.
Yeah.
But when I tell this to people, they're like, okay, well, you didn't bring anything from soccer to real estate. It's actually incorrect. I brought everything that I knew from soccer into real estate. Things like discipline, commitment, waking up early, training on a daily basis. I apply all those things into real estate now,
Right.
and I have definitely seen a change. And even though at the time that was my dream, I
Mhm.
know that sometimes things change, you know.
Oh, definitely.
The reason I stopped playing was because I got injured. I
Mm.
had 3 surgeries within 11 months,
Wow.
and it set me back. Obviously, I was lost for I would say a couple years. I didn't know what to do. Never had a job before, so I didn't really know where to apply, where to go. But thankfully, I landed a couple sales jobs, and that's when I kind of started my sales career, and eventually got into real estate.
Perfect. So, and you said your injury was that kind of like was soccer your only goal at that moment then?
At the
As you
moment,
said-
it was the only thing in my definitely
Yeah.
in my life, in my head. I would go to bed thinking about soccer, wake up just to go play, and getting paid for it was a huge goal.
Yeah.
Now it became
Right.
my job, it became my lifestyle. But I'm a true believer that sometimes we have goals and we have dreams that you want to get to, but sometimes things change, you know, and you have to adjust instead of dwelling on the past. Because I could have just taken 3-4 years of just dwelling on the past of why it didn't
Right,
work
right.
out.
Yeah.
So instead, I kind of switched things around, adjusted to my reality, and
Mhm.
went from there.
So you kind of made it your own blessing in disguise, right?
And it really was, man. Now that I look back at it, soccer was a blessing in disguise, exactly.
Perfect, Cesar. So, Cesar, tell us a little bit more about how long have you been doing this, and how you feel that what has brought you up to your current success in real estate now?
Absolutely, man. That's a great question. And actually, you were a part of it when I started with Ponce & Ponce Realty. You were there. So I've been in the business for about full time. I quit my other job and I started real estate full time January 1st, so about 10 months.
Mm.
And within those 10 months, I had been able to land 14 listings, which I think has been
Phenomenal.
Oh, yeah,
phenomenal. I
that's
think,
pretty
yeah.
Definitely agree.
It's been great. There's been a lot of hard work behind it, obviously, and I've been able to help a few buyers. So things have been going well. I think the key to being successful is just in real estate, since we're talking about the subject, is training on a daily basis, putting the customer first. I
Yeah.
think that's the biggest thing.
So being authentic.
Exactly.
Something I like to say, even though it's a sales-oriented job, sales is not, the end goal. The goal is not to, put as many people into homes and get paid. It's more about helping people out, finding their, what they're trying to achieve with their goals.
Exactly. That's exactly. You got it right where it needs to be. If you know how to be the difference between honesty and integrity. If you know that difference, they say that honesty is whatever we do when we're around people, and integrity is whatever we do when we're alone. So if you know those two things and you're able to put your client first, I think you'll have a longer, successful business. Long term, a successful business as opposed to short term. So really knowing that difference, I think, has been critical in my career.
Wow, that's amazing. So Cesar, if somebody, what advice would you give somebody who's young, starting out to real estate and saying, hey, I want to take on this career? Like, what would you give them? What kind of directions, advice, experiences that you know?
The biggest advice I would say is the one that I was challenged with in the beginning is having too many dreams. We all get into the business with big dreams, but yet our goals are not aligned with our dreams.
Right.
Absolutely.
So having an action plan and really knowing what you're going after makes a total difference. The second thing is having a schedule. We all know that in real estate, if you don't have a schedule, you're not going to get things done. So having a schedule and having goals with an action plan behind it are a huge thing that I advise. Not just anybody in real estate, but in any career for that sake.
Right.
Absolutely. And so tell me, what are like some of the bumps in the road that you kind of had to deal with in real estate that kind of got you like, okay, I learned my lesson here, now I'm gonna move on from that?
Absolutely, man. The biggest thing is when escrows get canceled,
Yeah.
That's how we get paid, that's how we get our money. So I had a few escrows actually in the month of June, a few months ago. 3 escrows got canceled that they were supposed to fund.
Wow.
So 1 is already bad enough, and 3 at the same week was tough.
Yeah.
So I think that was a lesson that I learned, is not to put all your eggs in one basket. So our broker always says, hey, if you have 6, 7, or 8 escrows open, then you don't have to worry about the 1 or 2 canceling because you're going to be fine. But if you're babysitting just 1 or 2 escrows, then you're going to be disappointed when things like that happen. So that was the biggest lesson.
Yeah,
is
that's
just
huge.
work hard, get as many as you can open, and understand that the business is not perfect and some of them are not going to go through.
Just to be kind of piggyback off that, so what you're looking for is being attached, right? When things fall, just, it happens, and then try to move forward. Just It goes back to, our slogan, protecting your energy. Don't let that affect you in a negative way. Just think of it more positive. Okay, it just means I got to help more families out. Right?
Absolutely. Always, I think the biggest thing is every morning when I wake up is redefining your purpose and your intention. So if your intention is to help as many people as you can, the money shouldn't be a problem. The money's going to come in the process. But if you put people first, I think serving other people is the biggest thing you can do, and that's a successful business.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so let's back to what he was saying about protecting your energy. What are some things that you do to protect your energy from, let's say, negative people or negative things that are going on?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think that's energy. What you said is the biggest thing that we have to deal with in our lives.
Right.
Absolutely.
You can project and attract negative energy, or you can project and attract positive energy. So really knowing the difference on how to do that is a huge thing in any business. So what I do is in the mornings when I wake up, I make sure 3 things are aligned for me that work great.
Yeah.
Is having a spiritual intelligence, emotional intelligence, and financial intelligence. And the way I break things down is spiritual intelligence to me means believing in something that's bigger than you.
Yeah.
Whether you're Catholic, Christian, Mormon, it doesn't matter. You have to be able to give someone else credit other than yourself, because you'd be selfish if you just give all the credit to yourself. So I do that on a daily basis. Now, emotional intelligence is knowing, in my case, when to express gratitude, when to be kind to other people, and having that balance in life. And obviously financial intelligence would be us in real estate, knowing how to make your money, and like I said earlier, serving people and making money in the process as opposed to doing the opposite. I think those 3 things give me the best balance I can ever ask for.
Yeah, that's great.
Now, Cesar, I wanted to ask you a little bit about, I seen on your Instagram one time, you have a little journal, you write those 2 sentences every morning, correct? So me and Carlos do that, we call it our mindset journal. What do you call it, or what do you write in it?
I just call it a gratitude and goal journal. So what I do is I split the page in half. I write what I'm grateful for, and the other half I write what my goal is for the day.
Right.
And I recently started doing it, and I've seen a huge change in my career, man.
Big game changer. Huh?
Exactly.
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
think you attract more when you actually write down your goal and your purpose,
Absolutely.
and when you're grateful, and those two things combined, it's success written all over it. So.
And what exactly do you write in it?
As far as gratitude,
As far as both.
well, anything that comes to my mind, sometimes I write. I know my house on the outside doesn't look as great, but I always write, like you said, I need some landscaping. No, it's true. I need some landscaping, but I wake up every morning and I'm grateful that I have a roof over my head, that I can afford this home, that I just turned 28 and I live on my own, so those are things that I'm grateful for. Like I said earlier, the family that I have that I wouldn't change for anything in the world. And just friends and family, connecting with everybody else, I'm grateful for that, and my health.
And as far as your goals, what are your goals?
My goals is to attract as many listings as I can. I've noticed, one thing that I've noticed right away is that if you have listings, you have more leverage and you can control your destiny in real estate. So that's what I focus on. Of course, I want to help people and friends buy homes.
Yeah.
But my first priority is attracting listings, and I'll do whatever it takes to get there.
Wow, absolutely. You're an amazing individual, Cesar. Of course, like you said, there's a lot of top producers out there doing 60, 80 deals, and for us, we're doing 12, right?
Up to
14
this year, up to date, yeah, about 14.
About 14 this year. Carlos is probably like about 10, give or take, and I
Yeah.
myself are probably 10, give or take.
Awesome.
And we're not on that level yet, but we're gonna get there.
But it's okay.
Yeah,
It's
we're gonna
part
get
of
there.
it's part of the process. That I think the biggest thing that I've also taken out of any career that we're in
Yeah,
is sometimes we want to run or sprint to the end
to the
goal.
finish line.
And
Absolutely.
you have to know how to crawl before you
Yeah.
even walk.
Yes.
So I
So,
think that's important.
so for my purpose, I just want to spread, my experience and knowledge. So that hopefully somebody takes a little piece of it and says, "This is what helped me out on my journey."
Man, that's beautiful. I like that you guys are doing this. I think that if we always connect and are able to help each other out,
Yeah.
our business and our world in general will be better off. And
Absolutely.
I like what you guys are doing, so I applaud you for that. I do have one question for you guys. What is it that you have been doing to get the success that you have in real estate? I love to learn what people are doing differently. I know some people like to prospect, some people like to pay for leads, open houses. So what is it that you guys do that is bringing you that success in your business?
Well, all right. For me, like it's been open houses, and at first it was kind of like a mental thing, like okay, I don't want to do open houses; they're boring. But it's once I try to figure out how to educate myself on how to do them better. I followed a lot of agents. I went to their open houses, and I just wanted to evaluate what they were doing.
Yeah.
And what they were doing was like different from what I was doing, because I would have open houses and I wouldn't get the same like response.
Exactly.
There's this lady in our office, she just does open houses. She doesn't
Okay.
prospect on the phone, she doesn't do anything like that. And she's closing like 22 deals
Wow.
like in a year.
She's mastered the open
She
house.
mastered the open
Yeah.
house. So that's why I'm like, I think it's just learning from other people
Yeah.
and seeing what works for them and putting your own spin on it so it works for you as well.
Of course. Of course.
So that's what's been working for me: open houses, and door knocking, center of influence, different social media things too.
That's
I've been getting a lot of business from social media, so that's what's been helping me out. That's where I'm getting all
That's
this.
good, man.
Yeah.
What about you, Luis?
Me, I do a little bit of social media, open houses, and a little bit of Zillow, paid leads. For me, I have this mindset of just kind of like, if they're going to come to me, it's because they want the help. And if somebody wants their help, of course I'm not going to deny. So I connect on a human level, seeing what they're really trying to achieve out of, the whole process, and then I just nail it from there.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's good. I love to learn what you guys are doing differently so I can implement it into my business. I think that's a huge thing. So
Absolutely.
it's cool.
So for you, you said it was door knocking, correct? Or what was your main?
Yeah, for me, I don't like to just rely on one thing. I do pay for
Right.
my Zillow leads. I like to spread it into 4 categories. I do Zillow leads that I pay for 25% of that. My business goes there. I do prospecting, calling, and door knocking. That's 2. I do open houses. That's my 3rd one, and the 4th one will be my referrals and center of influence, which
Yeah.
I need to work on a little bit more.
Right.
I'm a little shy. I'm a very shy person, believe it or not,
Yeah.
and I don't like to approach the people that I know.
I'm
and ask
the
them-
same way.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
ask them for business. However, if they ask me, then I'm willing to help them, but it shouldn't be like that. You should
Yes.
always be asking for business because that's the only way you're gonna get it. So I
It's-
need to work on that.
it's funny because like when I first started the business, I was like, I don't have any numbers to call, so I'm just gonna call everybody on my phone.
Yeah.
I was calling like friends, I was calling teachers, I was calling ex-girlfriends, I was calling my ex-girlfriend's moms, dads, sisters, and even they were even telling me like, who's this? I was like, come on, I dated your sister.
We haven't talked in so long.
Yeah.
He's calling the current boyfriend out.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's what I was doing, and it's funny because like stuff like that, it kind of gets you out of your shell.
Yeah.
And it, I guess it creates kind of like, what is that? Certainty that like, okay, I can find it some other place. And I think that's kind of the reason why I'm not doing it as much as I did when I first started, but it's because I feel like I'm bothering them now. But that's just a mindset.
It is.
Yeah.
I think Mike Ferry says it best. He says when you call, you have to call with purpose. Let them know that it's a business call, not a friendly call.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to start doing that because I don't do that yet. The only thing I do is social media because I want people to know that I know it's not going to give me sales right away, but I want people to know my name when they think about real estate.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I make those videos on my story and stuff like that. But I think a combination of everything is going to get you better off.
Yeah, and what's also been helping me too, it's funny, I just started hitting up people, hey, we should go out for lunch. So I'll do that, and I did that with one of my buddies, and he's trying to sell, and he's trying to buy 2 homes with it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Out of one lunch.
Out of one lunch, and another one, I was at a home inspection, and I have a friend that lives nearby. It was in Marietta, and I asked her, I was like, hey, do you want to go for lunch while I'm doing the inspection? She's like, yeah, let's do it. So now she's trying to buy.
Wow.
So it's you don't know what's going on in their lives until you like kind of get in front of their face and kind of talk about, because once you're in front of them, they're gonna ask you, well, how's your business going? How's that going?
Exactly.
They're just gonna bring it up naturally.
They're gonna bring it up. So when they bring it up, that's when you say, oh well, this is happening. This is going good for me.
And it opens up conversations.
It opens up the conversation.
Yeah,
so they're like, oh well, would I qualify to buy? And I was like, well, let me tell you.
No, of course, absolutely.
You know?
Man.
I think that's very powerful because, like you said, it's small little details that nobody thinks of, and you're just like, hey, you want to grab lunch?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody eats every day, so you know.
Yeah.
Lunch is something so simple.
It doesn't even have to be lunch either. You can go for a cup of coffee, ice cream. Like, it doesn't have to be expensive.
Exactly. The last listing I just told you about Moreno Valley, the way I got it was pretty crazy because I went door knocking to an expired listing, and it was vacant. So I said, okay, let me ask the next door neighbor, see if they have their number. Maybe I can get it from them and then call them. So I go to the next door neighbor and I see a U-Haul truck and I see Christmas lights and they're moving out.
Wow.
And I go, well, this is a perfect opportunity. I'm still going to open up my conversation with, do you know your neighbor? I want to get their information, but I'm still going to ask them what are they looking to do. So sure enough, we got into the conversation. 5 minutes into it, I scheduled a listing appointment. They wanted to sell right away because they were moving out of town. And so I gave them a listing presentation the next week, and a week after that, we have it on the market.
Ready.
So you don't, like you say, you don't really know what a conversation is going to turn into. I was just going there with the intention of getting the neighbor's number.
Yes.
And I ended up getting the listing right next door. So send some buyers for that.
Yeah.
This is powerful.
Yeah, like you said, you never know.
Yes. All right, guys. I think that's wraps it up for today. Again, this is the Young Man's Game podcast and YouTube channel. So I would just ask if you like this, if this is something that you want to keep watching. We're gonna be posting them every Tuesday, right?
Every Tuesdays, another one Friday, Saturday.
Another one Friday, Saturday, and so subscribe, like, comment below, and let us know what you think.
Also, any topics or any questions you guys want to know about us, definitely comment. Here to help you guys.
All right, thanks a lot.